Good evening everyone. Welcome to Aspire IS. This is the revision series for chemistry optional for civil services mains examination. Now today we'll be doing a very important topic, that is the Schrodinger wave equation for hydrogen atom. Now for the hydrogen atom we will first have to convert the planar coordinates to polar coordinates. Now how we'll be doing that? First let us see how the polar coordinates work. Now in hydrogen atom we assume that hydrogen is a three-dimensional object. Now here at the center the nucleus is present at a distance r, that is the radius. The electron is revolving around this. Now the angle that it is making with the xz plane, that will be the theta. It is called azimuthal angle, and it ranges from 0 to pi, that is 180 degree. Now this forms a projection is in xy plane. Now the angle this projection makes with the nucleus, that we consider as phi, it is called angle of zenith. It ranges from 0 to 2 pi. Now how do we convert planar coordinates to polar coordinates? We take x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, and we take y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and then we take z is equal to r cos theta. Alright, simple. Now the Laplacian operator that we earlier looked for the particle in 1D box, for the polar coordinates, the Laplacian operator will be del square equal to 1 by r square del by del r square del by del r plus 1 by r square sin theta del by del theta sin theta plus 1 by del theta plus 1 by r square sin square theta del square by del phi square. Alright, so this is our Laplacian operator. Now our aim is to calculate the energy of the electron. Now for energy we need Hamiltonian operator. So like last time, Hamiltonian operator will be minus h square by 8 pi square m del square plus v. This one will be our Hamiltonian operator. Now upon operating this on psi or wave function, we get energy. This is the Schrodinger wave equation for hydrogen atom. Now let us solve this. First we will identify this psi as representing three components, that is radial, the component for theta, and the component for phi. This one you can say capital theta and capital phi, theta and phi. Alright, so now let us put all these values in our equation. We will get 1 by r square del by del r square del by del r theta phi we are putting in this, and this all is multiplied by minus h square by 8 pi square m plus 1 by r square sin theta del by del theta sin theta del by del theta r theta phi plus 1 by r square sin square theta del square by del phi square, and here also r theta and phi plus v r theta phi is equal to E psi. Here we will not be using it. Now all these are partial differentials, so theta and phi those will not be differentiated and they will become common Similarly, in del by del theta, phi and r will not be differentiated, they will come out as constants. And similarly here only phi will be differentiated and r and theta will be coming out as constant. So finally we will be dividing the whole equation by r theta phi, so that the constants that we have got, they will get cancelled, and also we will be multiplying this by minus 2m pi square, 8 pi square m by h square, that is this term, so that this can come with b. Now upon doing this, what we will get as the final equation is 1 by r, let us take it in the next page. We get final equation as 1 by r del by del r square del by del r to r plus 1 by theta sin theta del by del theta theta plus 1 by phi sin square del by del square into phi. Alright, plus now we had also multiplied by 2m r square by h bar square. Here h bar is h upon 4 pi into e plus z square by 4 pi epsilon naught r. Here what is z square by 4 pi epsilon naught r? This is the value of potential energy V, that earlier was 0 in particle in 1D box, but this one here it will be non-zero. Now this equation we don't need to remember, we can easily solve this from the earlier equation. Now what we have to do is we need to calculate the radial component and angular component differently. Now for radial, to calculate this, we will be taking all the components of that contain radius to one side, and all the component that contains the angular functions, that is theta and phi, to other side, and we will be equating it with L into L plus 1, that is azimuthal quantum number. Here L is azimuthal quantum number. Upon equating this, we will be getting our two equations, that will be radial function will be 1 by r del by del r square del by del r into r plus 2m r square by h bar square e plus z square by 4 pi epsilon naught r. This one we had equated with L into L plus 1. Alright, now we get another equation in the form of theta and phi. Now what we will be doing in the next step is, that equation we will be separating theta and phi components, one side theta and one side phi, and that we will be comparing with it with m square. Here m is the magnetic quantum number. Now here we do not need to remember all these equations because they are never asked. What we need to know is that from this equation, the Schrodinger wave equation for hydrogen atom in polar coordinates, we get three quantum number, that is first was n, and that is principal quantum number. Second is L is azimuthal quantum number. Third is m is magnetic quantum number. We get these three quantum numbers. What we have to remember is the spin quantum number, the fourth quantum number. We do not get this from Schrodinger wave equation. Okay, we get just n, L, L, m from Schrodinger wave equation. And upon solving these equations, the energy that we get is minus 13.6 z square by n square. what is it? This is equal to the energy that we got by Bohr. So Bohr's calculation was correct for the hydrogen atom. This we can confirm from this value of energy. Now what is important here for us? First of all, the angular momentum. The value of angular momentum will be L bar is equal to under root L into L plus H over 2 pi. Alright, so if we need to calculate the angular momentum of the electron, we get by this formula. Now another important thing that we get is that we need to remember are the radial wave functions. Now radial wave functions, sometimes they directly ask generally they ask either 1s, 2s or maximum 2p. Up to this we have to remember the radial wave function. So what is the radial wave function for 1s? That is r10. Here 1 is the n value. N value means energy value, and 0 is the L value, that is azimuthal quantum number. 1 is principal quantum number. So this will be 1 by 2 root 2 z by a naught raised to power 3 by 2 exponential minus zr by a naught. This is the radial wave function for the 1s orbital. Now from this we can get the radial distribution. Now radial distribution will be like this: r10 versus this is radius. So we will get the radial distribution like this. Okay, if they ask for radial distribution, this will be like this. Now this is not important. What is important for us is probability. Finding electron. How we'll get the probability? Probability is 4 pi r square into r square dr. From here we get the probability. Now upon plotting this, we get probability p10 versus radius. This curve we get is like this. This one is a naught, the radius of the hydrogen atom. So from like this we can plot the probability, and we can get the probability of finding electron at a particular place. Now suppose they ask what is the value of r for the orbit. That means how far the orbit is present. Now the orbit is the place where probability is maximum. Alright, so what we'll be doing is, suppose they want to find, and they ask you what is the value of radius, where what is the radius of the orbit. Okay, so what we will be doing is, they will be giving you the wave function. For example, they give this wave function. Now what will you do is, first you will calculate the probability, that is 4 pi r square. So probability will be 4 pi r square into r square. Once you get the probability, you differentiate, that is del p by del r. Now where the probability is maximum, that differentiation will be 0, like this. So it will be 0. Now differentiate it with dr and put it 0, and you will get the value of r max, that is radius of the orbital. Similarly, if you go for 2s orbital, now for 2s orbital, what will be the formula? R20 is equal to 1 by 2 z by a naught raised to power 3 by 2. This will remain common. 2 minus zr by a naught exponential minus zr by 2 a naught. Alright, so this will be the radial wave function for 2s orbital. For 2p orbital r 2 1. Now for p l is equal to 1. This will be equal to 1 by 2 root 2 z by a naught raised to power 3 by 2 into zr by a naught exponential minus zr by 2 a naught. So what you have to remember is these three equations, r1s, r2s and r2p, and their respective graphs. Now for r10 the radial distribution is like this. For 1s, for 2s, now there is number of node. How you can easily calculate draw this graph is by calculating the number of nodes. What are number of nodes? Number of nodes are radial nodes is equal to n minus 1. Okay, so here n is equal to 2 minus 1, so 1. This is radial nodes. What we need is total nodes. So this is total nodes. Upon them radial nodes are n minus l minus 1. So in case of 2s, n is equal to 2, l is equal to 0. So this is one node. For 2p, node is equal to 2 minus 1 minus 1. So it will be 0. For 1s, it will be 1 minus 0, 0. Okay, so by this we can calculate the radial nodes. So since there was no node, so it will always remain positive. For one radial node, the amplitude will change r20. Now here one node is there, so it will cross this and the radial distribution will be like this. Again for r21, now there is no node, so the radial distribution will again be like this, but a little further away as compared to this one, 1s orbital. Now how will be the probability probability distribution? Now since there is one node, so node is the position where probability of finding electron is 0, so it will first touching the 0 value, then again it will rise like this. This is the value of node. This is a node, this is 2 a naught, this is 4 a naught. Now for this is p20, that is 2s versus r. Now this is p21. 21 means 2p versus r. This will be simple like the first one, but here the value of a will be 4 a naught. So in this way, just by calculating the number of nodes, we can easily draw any of the diagrams that they will be asking, whether it will be radial distribution or whether it will be the distribution of the probability. Now the next topic that we have to do in this is the angular distribution. Now angular distribution will give us the shape of the orbital. Now since s is independent of any, in case of s there is no theta, that is it is independent of the radial angular distribution, so there is no angular distribution, therefore it is spherically symmetric. So for shape will be, for 1s it will be simple spherical. For 2s there will be one node, so what we will to do is first and then second empty space that will representing the node, and then the second high peak of probability. This one will be for 2s. So s is simple. Now for p, the angular wave function for p will be for px that we did earlier in the polar coordinates, that is r sin theta cos phi, and here its shape will be x, so this will be x-axis. You will have to represent the axis, and then its shape is dumbbell shape. Alright, similarly py will be r sine theta cos phi, Pz is equal to r cos theta. Here you can easily calculate the value of L and M. When the value of theta, it represents the L, and the power is 1, so L is equal to 1. Value of phi, it represents M. If phi is with the cos, M is equal to 1. If phi is with the sine, M is equal to minus 1. Here L is equal to 1, here L is equal to 1, that is power of theta, and since there is no phi, so M is equal to 0. So p orbital in presence of magnetic field split into 3, that is here M is equal to 0, M is equal to minus 1, and M is equal to plus 1. By this we can easily explain the Stark effect, that is the splitting of the band in presence of magnetic field. Now there will be 3 bands in absorption spectrum. Alright, so this is simple. Now next comes the d orbital. D orbital will be similar. For dxy, what we have to do is simply multiply x and y, that is r sine theta cos phi into r sine theta sin phi. By this we can calculate the angular orbital of the dxy. Similarly, dyz, dzx, dz square. For dz square, we use the formula 3z square minus r square. That's it. It will be simply, now the shape will be for z square, it will be like this. For dxy, it will be in between the planes. This will be x-axis, this will be y-axis. And for dx square y square, the lobes will be along the axis. So by this we can easily calculate the shape of the orbitals. So from this we have completed the hydrogen atom and all the polar coordinates. This will be the maximum they will be asking in the question, either the shape of the orbital or the radial distribution of the electrons in the orbital, the probability, the radius of the orbital by finding the maximum probability. So that's all for the hydrogen atom. Thank you. Good night. You can easily get the PowerPoints of this, the notes that we will be doing online on the Telegram channel of Aspire IAS.